welcome. We are ready to begin. This is the third chapter, third recording of our Open Innovation Thursday that were born 3 weeks ago, talking about open innovation and the Oxford Handbook of Open Innovation, which I don't know why every Thursday I've been traveling, and so I don't have the book with me because it's kind of heavy, heavy with knowledge and insights. But it's marvelous that we can have the chance to talk and discuss 15 minutes for each chapter. It turns out that chapter 2 today, it's also authored by you, Agnieszka. You're the contributor. So we're very happy to welcome you to the Open Innovation Thursday.
Thank you, Marcel. Thank you.
Just because maybe there are some people that haven't watched our first chapter, our first LinkedIn Live, can you please introduce yourself?
Of course. My name is Agnieszka Radziwon, and I'm an associate professor of open innovation at Aarhus University in Denmark, as well as affiliated researcher at Garwood Center for Corporate Innovation, University of California, Berkeley. And it's my pleasure to be here with you.
And by the way, in Berkeley, we will have our World Open Innovation Conference next November, so there will be also a connection there. For those who don't know me, I'm Marisol Menendez. I'm an open innovation practitioner and enthusiast, and I'm so thrilled to have this opportunity to discuss with each of the contributors for the book about open innovation. This is my passion, so I'm excited to do what I'm passionate about. And today, Agnieszka, we're talking about chapter number 2, which is Open Innovation as a Field of Knowledge. I love the title. What is it about? Well, first of all, you co-authored this chapter with someone else.
Yes, that's true. So I had the pleasure of working on this chapter with Henry Chesbrough. The idea behind the chapter was that, in the first chapter, Henry wanted to share a little bit of the developments of open innovation over the past 20 years. But what we decided to do in chapter 2 is to look at open innovation as a field of knowledge. It has started as a phenomenon 20 years ago, but there's been lots of developments. So what we discuss in this chapter is the history of open innovation. We discussed the key definitions, so what has changed, and we outlined the top contributions. So we build on the shoulders of giants. But Marcel, I think that, we haven't been talking too much about these definitions of open innovation. So maybe we should make sure that all of the listeners, they have a good idea of what open innovation is about. What do you think?
I think it's perfect because, open innovation, as you said, begin maybe like as a trend, as a paradigm that everyone uses, but now it's a common word. And I think we have many definitions of this. And I always like to say, hey, this is our definition of open innovation. So what is open innovation, Agnieszka?
Okay, Marcel, let's start with the definition for all of the practitioners, so non-scientists, and then we're going to move to scientists and researchers, and very, very, very specific. So if you can imagine that all of the brilliant minds, they come together to solve a problem, like something like a giant brainstorming session with people from all over the world in one room contributing their excellent ideas. This is what open innovation is about. This would be like a practitioner definition, which kind of highlights that, traditionally firms were working on the closed innovation paradigm. Like they were working under closed doors of the R&D departments. But at some point they realized that this is not really optimal. And even though, especially, research intensive companies, they always hire top talents, they realize that not all of the smartest people work for them. And then there might still be possibilities to tap into their knowledge. And this is how open innovation promotes different type of collaboration.
I like to explain it when I talk about it in my colleagues. I say that it's build bridges among organizations, boundaries, frontiers, to let innovation flow, knowledge flow to create value. I think those are the elements. But I also once stumbled upon a quote pasted in the door of a bathroom of a co-working space. And it said this that I really love, because it said, most of the most important innovations will come not from new technology, but from new ways of collaboration. And I think this is what it's about, collaborate to create value.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I love it. And, this is also what Henry Chesbrough talks about later on, that he has also lots of contributions in the area of business model development. And then he often highlights that, of course, technology, it's really, really important. But what's even more important is that what kind of business models you build on top of this technology. So how your technology is creating the value and allowing you to capture this value as well, right?
Right. So you talk about the definition of open innovation in this chapter as well, which is good for the second chapter of Open Innovation Handbook, And what else is in there?
Yeah, well, we also talk about the roots of open innovation. So how did it all started? And it's actually quite interesting that, in the 60s, what we talk a lot about in research are knowledge spillovers. So what are knowledge spillovers? These are unintended and unmanageable knowledge flows, right? This is when companies experience the leakage of different information. So something that they did not want to go outside of organizational boundaries, but somehow it did. So when you think about the idea that Henry put forward, it's very simple. It's just start to focus on managing the knowledge flows. So no more unintended spillovers, but purposefully managed knowledge flows. So, the first definition of open innovation in 2023 highlighted a combination of internal and external ideas and paths to market. But then already in 2014, in another excellent open innovation book, Marcel Bogers and Henry Chesbrough, they offer a little bit revised definition of open innovation. That's the definition that it is with us until today. And it talks about purposefully managed knowledge flows across organizational boundaries. So technically speaking, what it talks about, it's about the control over the knowledge. So we decide as organization who we're going to share the knowledge with and what kind of knowledge from outside of our organizational boundaries we are going to get in and accept.
I love really to explore the open innovation definition. And by the way, that revised version from 2014, together Marcel and Henry also talks about the kind of value that can be generated here, not only economic value or pecuniary, but also non-pecuniary. And so the acknowledgement of the realms of value that you can generate, and also where can you open or not open, because some concepts or some organizations sometimes think that this is like open, everything is open. And no, it's not like that. It's not uniform. No, there's control, as you were saying.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much for mentioning this, Marcel, because oftentimes when I talk to people, they actually ask me like, okay, but this open innovation, I don't think this is for me because I don't want to share everything. There is some knowledge I would like to keep for myself. It's like, yeah, but that's perfectly fine. And I think that's one of the top misunderstandings of open innovation. People assume that being open, it means sharing absolutely everything at every single point of time. So thank you for mentioning this pecuniary and non-pecuniary benefits. But this is also something that we talk about in chapter 2. So what we talk about is the firm-centric approach, that this is how open innovation started as a firm-centered phenomenon. And it actually started with all of the pecuniary sort of benefits, right? So how do we make money based on innovation? And I still remember that when I was a PhD student and I had a chance to join a wonderful summer school, PhD summer school in Trento. And this is where I met Carlos Baldwin, who's been looking into user innovation together with Eric van Hippel. And then I asked her, Carlos, so what is the difference between open innovation and user innovation? And one of the first things that he mentioned, she says that, open innovation is very much a firm user-centric approach. And then when we talk about user innovation, this is more about individuals. And then another thing that she mentioned is also this pecuniary versus non-pecuniary aspects. So that time, but remember, this was like 10 years ago. So some stuff has changed over time. I'm going to get back to it. But then that time, yeah, a lot of research on open innovation were looking into these pecuniary benefits, where on user innovation, there's been a lot of value in the public good, in developing the knowledge and the contribution, where there will not necessarily be an expectation of monetary reward. But you know what? This has changed over time. And you know this very well as well, right? So there's been a lot of activities in open innovation targeting society, solving grand challenges, looking at sustainability. And this is something that concerns all of us. And this is also something that does not necessarily bring us an immediate monetary value, right?
Right. And I also think that there's a concept of boundaries, organizational boundaries, which can also be internal. Like when I was at BBVA, the first boundaries we broke or connected were internal boundaries. So I always refer to as an internal open innovation, because we do it created purposefully built knowledge flows across the organization where it didn't existed to create value. And I think it falls completely within this. So I also like to create a little bit of philosophy around what is a boundary. And also this firm-centric perspective, I think it's bring us also to the concept of ecosystems. No, how do we create these systems of flows, which are like sets of organizations, maybe as you correctly were saying, like rather than people, no, or individuals, these organizations, but well, there's some other philosophy over there. But at the end, this is a basis for solving these grand challenges, like, for example, the global sustainability goals, which are in its own grand challenges that are being solved. Where, by the way, the goal number 17 is partnerships for the goals, which I think it speaks about open innovation.
Right?
No?
Yeah, but you know, I think that another thing that we highlight in the chapter, it's also very important, is that how do you read the handbook? So what are the chapters all about? And it offers you some nice insights of what's coming up. But then it also highlights the role of the community. You know, so as scholars, we preach openness and collaboration, but I think what is important and what we write about are also the community events and activities that we organize. So, you know, of course, LinkedIn Lives, this is something that we organize to spread the knowledge on open innovation. But we have our conference, annual conference, as you mentioned. So it's coming up at Berkeley. And last year, you were hosting us in Bilbao. And we also have our weekly Berkeley Open Innovation Seminar that I ran together with Mehdi Montakabi. And this is where we discuss open innovation research and practice every week. But that's not over. Actually, you know, we talk about collaboration across organizational boundaries. So, you know, there are some of the open innovation publications which we write together. And these are like highly collaborative publications. Just to name a few, we have Borgers et al. 2017, which is one of the publications that we wrote together by 15 plus researchers studying open innovation, different teams, different frameworks, different levels of analysis. And this is how we collaborated to share the best of knowledge in this area. There are also several, actually 3 papers orchestrated by Susanne Beck. And these are papers of open innovation in science. And this is where we go one step further. So we define a new subfield within open innovation and research. And this is where people who are invited to contribute to this publication, they are not only business, management, and economic scholars. They come from multiple different fields, from sociology. They come from natural sciences. And this is how we try to further develop this concept to support the development of research and science. So we not only talk and encourage others to collaborate and share knowledge, but we do it ourselves to show like a good example.
This is amazing. And I think that's one of the things that caught me in the passion of open innovation, because the community is really willing to share, to learn together, to grow together, to create together. And this is part of the amazing thing, to being able to speak every Thursday for 15 minutes about open innovation and share this knowledge.
Yes.
Agnieszka, thank you very much for this time. We're already completed our 15 minutes. We have our chapters. I will ask you maybe to share send me the links of the material you referred to, so we can also add it as a quote, because I think this is nice. Now we are all learning and have all this material besides the handbook. It's interesting reference. And yeah, we invite everyone who is watching to give comments, ask questions, and look out for the next week chapter. We will try to keep order, go from chapter to chapter. When it's not possible, we will just anticipate some other, but at the end we will be talking about each of the chapters of the book.
Yes, and a little surprise, right? That we have in the
we
making.
will bring some surprises.
Yes,
exactly.
Yeah. Let's do that. Let's do that. Again, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Marisol. It's been a great pleasure joining you, and yeah, I'm looking forward to listening to more LinkedIn Lives about other chapters.
Thank you. Let's keep on this track, Agnieszka. This has been really great. Thank you very much. Enjoy your day.
Bye-bye.
Happy Open Innovation Thursday.
Yeah, happy Open Innovation Thursday.